Laserheads, welcome back to another episode of Meet a Student. This is Kurt Hinton. He just got done with training, and I kind of wanted to sit down with him and see what he thought about the training and just ask him a few questions. So Kurt, first of all, you want to tell us about yourself a little bit, your business, where you're from?
Yeah, my name is Kurt Hinton. Currently residing in Wenatchee, Washington. And if you can say that, you get a prize.
Or five times really fast.
Yes. I actually own Bear Arms Munitions, and I'm the only employee. Primarily do Cerakoting, in fact, exclusively Cerakoting until after this week, which hopefully I'll add lasers to that. I went full-time right about the time COVID hit, which was a very, very good timing. My business is just booming, and I needed to grow and expand my business, but without doing more Cerakote, so I thought I'd add another facet to the business, and lasers seemed really interesting to me.
So forgive me for not asking, you've been doing this a long time? Did you retire into this? Like, did you do something before that?
I was a mechanical engineer for 30-something years, and I retired from that. And I went into working in gun shops because I have a passion for firearms. Mm-hmm. Decided to open my own FFL and gun store and sell guns. And because I was mechanically inclined, I started doing gunsmithing. Okay. Yeah. Not anything extravagant, just mainly, building rifles, right. Cleaning.
That's funny you mentioned that. You know what, cleaning? There's people that do cleaning services. You would be surprised how many people just want their gun cleaned.
Yeah, and they'll pay for it too.
They'll pay for it.
And honestly, I hate cleaning my own guns, so I really don't like cleaning other people's.
That's like the landscaper who's a landscaper and has like the worst yard in the neighborhood, right?
And so somebody asked me to coat a gun for them, and I started doing that and really enjoyed it. And it kind of grew into the business. And now I exclusively do that. I don't really do any other gun services.
Are you doing it just for you, or are you doing it for
other
stores and stuff like that?
I do it for gun stores. I do it for individuals. My advertising has been totally word of mouth. Like I said, I worked part-time in a gun store, so I had a lot of people coming in, and they would ask about it. And hey, I'm right there. Here's my card. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it's, like I say, it's grown into something it's really full-time now.
Tired of weeding?
Yeah, I hate stencils too, but I mean, I've done some pretty detailed work, and it's the most satisfying, but at the same time most frustrating.
Right.
Because you work so hard, you're not sure how it's going to turn out when you start, and at the end you have this amazing looking firearm, but you're just gray-haired and just from weeding all the stencils. Right. But I thought lasers would be a good complement to what I'm doing now.
So how did you find us? Like, when obviously you did some online searching, or you've seen other people's work and like wonder how they did that. How did you get to here? Like, what was that journey like?
I don't exactly remember how I found you guys. I was probably looking on Instagram or Facebook, and a video popped up of somebody doing a laser, and I believe there's a link, because I went to your site, and the pricing compared to what I'd seen lasers in the past several years was just amazing. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And then the training aspect about it was what really attracted me. But I didn't do anything. I actually called the guys at Cerakote, and we're asking them about lasing. And they said, well, if you're really interested, give the guys at San Antonio Laser a call.
Oh, that's cool that they said that. That's awesome.
And so I did talk to some other Cerakote applicators throughout the country, and they all told me the same thing. Go to San Antonio Laser. They do quality lasers, and you cannot beat the 5 days of training.
Yeah. And it's not a unique story, but it's great to hear it. Like, just to hear someone else say that there's people out there talking about us, and that's all good stuff. We love that stuff, and it's funny how people end up finding us, because just like you, a lot of it is word of mouth. We're not a big company, but we have a very focused program, and it helps people just like you. So
and you kind of have a niche market too.
Right.
It's not like everybody wants to buy a laser.
Right.
But like I said, I've seen other people who've bought lasers and they end up sitting in their shop collecting dust because they never can figure out how to make them work. Or they spend a year monkeying around and come out with just something that doesn't look very good.
Yeah.
And I realized how difficult it was going to be. But once I started going through the training, I realized it was more difficult to learn on your own than I thought it would have been.
Right.
There was just so much information and so much know-how and tips and tricks you can use and you could do that for years and never figure it out.
So I guess retrospective, I mean, we're on our this is the 5th day already. It's Friday for Kurt. So for him, he's looking back. I guess hindsight's 20/20, right? So I mean, what do you tell someone who's sitting there going, I don't know if that class is worth it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can learn it on my own. I hear that a lot.
It's definitely worth it, unless you're some kind of real high-end guru and using the programs that run the lasers already. I don't know, and even then, if you have a different laser with different power settings, you could hunt for a long time to try to find the optimum ones. Here, you already come there, already set up, they know the settings, they know the equipment, and they just teach you how to operate the laser.
And that's coming from a mechanical engineer. That's me too. I'm from an automation background, and when I came in here, I was like, wow, this is hard.
It's just, there's so many settings and stuff that. And I was telling the story about Photoshop. I've tried doing Photoshop for stencils, and it was just so overwhelming. I just kind of gave up on it.
Right. Yeah. Those learning those programs is not easy either. Illustrator or Photoshop or some of these CAD programs. You actually go to school for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And what we try to do is, I guess, like you said, take all that and smash it into 5 days and say you're ready to go. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, Kurt, I appreciate you sitting down with us and talking to us. I'm sure someone on the other side of this camera, appreciates just stories, feedback and stuff like that. And I try to capture that stuff. So thank you for taking a second to do that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Cool.